Cucks Said What? A hilarious new series. Expect the unexpected.
Do you know what CM said?
So I wanted to address a couple of things that an insane person who should be heavily medicated has been saying about me, and how I feel about law keepers, and how I feel about the Bible and the prophets. This nut job has been running around making videos saying that I hate law keepers, which is categorically false. I've never said something like that, and this person will be judged harshly by God and condemned for it. Okay, I've never once said that. In fact, I've said many times, I don't even know enough about the law necessarily. I haven't studied it to make arguments either way. There's certainly arguments for it and against it. I haven't studied enough, and I'm okay to leave it at that. I don't keep the law as it stands, but I have no problems with those who keep the law. I just don't know enough about it to go either way. I take the Orthodox Christianity stance for what it is worth, because I'm not educated enough on it. Okay, I found a lot of things about Christianity that have not been true in the past, so it wouldn't surprise me if I find out that we should keep the law. Okay, so I'll let that stand where it is. This person is a liar, and he's making that up. It's not true. And this person has been known to make things up and delete his channel back and forth. You know, he'll say he doesn't believe in God, or he doesn't believe in the God of the Bible, and then he'll come back and attack people who do. He needs to be heavily medicated. I don't care what this person says, but I wanted to make this known that I do not hate law keepers. They're just jealous. This person's jealous because he thinks he has a little cult going, and everybody's going to agree with him because he's a loser in real life. He has no friends. And so he thinks that he's got a bunch of friends on YouTube, a fantasy land. And when people start to associate with others who don't keep the law or whatever, he gets butthurt and jealous like a third grader, and then starts lashing out and attacking. That's all it is. An immature, effeminate little cuck, man-child, basically. Okay. And then to say that I smear the prophets and the Bible. No, I've said many times that I don't believe the Bible is perfect. It's got problems. It's got flaws. Obviously it does, because look at the canon. It's been changed. It's been altered. You've got the Protestant canon, who's got the 66 books. You've got the Orthodox Catholic Bible and the Orthodox Eastern Orthodox Bible that's got many other books. The Apocrypha that was around during the time of Christ, and the Apostles in the Septuagint that was later removed by Martin Luther. So that's obviously a problem. The narration of Satan being a prosecutor and working for God in the Old Testament Hebrew Bible, never a fallen angel that took a third of the angels, has been changed and been modified in the Christian religion now to include a fallen angel and dualism, which means that Satan is in opposition against God, and you've got the God of the world, which is Satan, now battling a cosmic devil. That's not in the Hebrew Bible. That's a change, a complete fabrication in Christianity. So of course I have problems with the Bible. Smearing prophets? No, I said that God would never allow somebody like a prophet like the prophet Elijah in the Old Testament, in 2 Kings 2:23 and 24, to send bears to shred little children. Okay, to send bears to shred little children. I have a problem with that. God would never do something like that. But this person, this wacko, got butthurt because I disagreed with that version of the Bible, even though he said many times that he disagrees with the Bible, this, that, and the other, but he's just a hypocrite and not somebody that I would take seriously. And in fact, if you engage with this person, I really don't want anything to do with you, because you show a lack of character, and you also show that you're willing to entertain somebody who's mentally ill, that has a double tongue, that can't let his yes be a yes or his no be a no. So, like I said, I really don't care who associates with me on YouTube or whatever. But if you engage with somebody like this, I really have no interest in talking to you. I just don't, because you're a liability to me, right? It's true. It's sad, but true. Then you got this other person again, this quote unquote doctor that got his doctorate from a Cracker Jacks box, basically, that's not peer reviewed. All the other scholars call him a fraud. He can't really back up what he says. And so he hangs out most of the time on YouTube because no other scholar takes him seriously. He doesn't have any peer-reviewed articles other than what he publishes on his own Google Docs or whatever, and does his reviews himself. His accreditation is basically himself. He claims to be a Hebrew expert. He claims to be all this stuff, yet I've never heard him speak any Hebrew whatsoever. Okay. Ani lo mevin ivrit is what I would say to him. Ani lo mevin ivrit. All right. So just to put it in a nutshell, if you have an argument against what I believe about the Bible, then be a man and come on and talk to me about it, or put comments in my comment section. Don't be a beta cuck and go onto other channels that lie and whine and just be creepy like a little effeminate cuck. Okay? Be a man, come over and engage with me. Why are so many quote unquote Christian males effeminate, coward little cuck boys? Why is that? I wonder why. It's because they really have no life outside of Christianity. They wrap themselves up in a Bible. That's all they got. But in reality, they're nothing but losers, whiners, and cowards. Grow up. Grow a pair. Okay? Just because you had no father in your life or whatever that taught you to be a man doesn't mean you need to run around on YouTube acting like a little beta cuck coward femboy. All right. And quit making things up about people. Not only that, they were mocking Milwaukee or whatever for a video that was put out about, some person and his family. First of all, that's an AI. That's not really his kids. And this individual was laughing and saying free Tilly, when it was talking about relationships with a goat in church. So this individual who made this stuff up about me had no problem going on and laughing on the very video this person made about this individual with goat in church, Leviticus, relationships with animals. He was okay to laugh and mock and get into the spirit of this. And of course, cowardly deletes his comments afterwards. So you can't trust somebody like this. They're very devilish. They're very deceptive in their tactics. They're hypocrites, they're liars, and they're backbiters. And like I said, you want to associate with people like that? Good luck. They're a liability, and they always will be.
Beta Cucks Said What? A hilarious new series. Expect the unexpected.